now, I'm trying to make sure that the budget cuts that we have to endure in the state of New York do not hurt the progress that we've made. We've taken the college with some 40-plus majors, 46-plus majors, and added at least 8 graduate programs. We are the most diverse college. We are one of the most diverse colleges in the nation, and we are certainly the most diverse college in the SUNY system. And I want to maintain that diversity. When you come to SUNY Old Westbury, you've got white, black, Latino, Asian, but you've got everybody else also. You got Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Catholic. It's a very wonderful community. It's a microcosm of the 21st century world. I want to continue to build on that. I want to continue to increase the number of students. We are now at about 3,500. I want us to remain a small college, but I'd like to get our head count up to about 5,000. We're on 605 acres of land. And I want the beauty of that land to attract particularly young men and women from urban settings, not only in the 5 counties of New York City, but also from upstate New York, Buffalo and Utica and Syracuse. But I also want to attract from around the state in terms of increasing our population. Most importantly, as we continue to shine this jewel and make it sparkle, we're doing great. You're welcome to come and visit us. I want to make the case for public education. It costs too much money for something that should be a right. I've got young men and women, we have young men and women in our country who are bright, but they can't afford $20,000, $40,000 a year, $20,000 a semester. Plus, you've got to add on room and board and books. I can give, when I say I, the State University of New York can give a young man or a woman a quality education. I got a wonderful faculty for right now, room and board, tuition, $14,000 a year. That's what I want people to understand, and especially poor people and particularly black people. I'm a graduate of an HBCU, Historically Black College and University, Morehouse College. I love it. I love all the HBCUs. But I can give you a better education than the HBCUs at half the price or a quarter the price. Come. That's what I want to do. I want men and women who are struggling every day. I mean, this mortgage crisis is terrible. You're seeing, Lehman Brothers and Merrill Lynch being sold, Lehman Brothers failing. People are struggling out here. Gas prices going through the roof, but yet education. And that's why we spent so much time building the public schools in Harlem. We know about charter schools and vouchers, and, that's another discussion. But most of our children, particularly poor children, black and white, will have to go to public schools. And we should not abandon these schools. And so our commitment, I've created an education corridor. I can get you in Head Start, which is legislation of Adam Clayton Powell Jr. I can bring you through kindergarten in a public school setting, middle school up to high school, all public school, and then take you to a public college. It's a corridor, and the parents have little expense than if they had to go through the private school. That's part of my calling. That's why I can do Old Westbury with great joy, because it's all a part of trying to empower most of us who are in America. We don't have a lot of money. We're struggling every day. That's the common ground. That's the cruel hoax of race. The poor white person and the poor black person ought not be at each other's throats, trying to scapegoat the other. We're in the same boat. I have traveled this country completely, and I've seen poor whites. They got the same issues: drugs, alcohol, early pregnancies, broken families, trying to make mortgages work. Same thing that poor black people are going through. And that's the commonality. That's what made Martin Luther King, I would argue, so dangerous in the end, because he was bringing poor people together, as they used to say, the long-haired hippie and the Afro black. He brought us together, and we were marching. That's what made people in the high places afraid, because we're realizing who we are as Americans. We found the common ground, and we discovered where the real focus of our attention ought to be. So at Old Westbury, I want to continue our focus. I want to keep the diversity so that black, white, Latino, Asian, Native American, so to speak, quote unquote, we all see our commonality. We can respect each other's religions, languages, but we know what we want. So you take a fellow like Barack Obama, a Kenyan father, a mother from Kansas, and he has an opportunity. He went to Harvard. Great. Everybody can't go to Harvard. At least they can afford to pay for it. So now I'm saying, don't spend all of this money. Come to a public institution, and we'll do a good job for you. And I'm a preacher for the public institutions. You know, I'm trying to spread that gospel all across the country, all across the tri-state area, because it makes sense. And I'll put any member of our faculty up against anybody else, any other faculty person. And some of our students are doing very well. They're in all kinds of jobs all across the country. They're doctors, lawyers, Oscar-winning film producers, all out of Old Westbury.